Welcome back to Mastering Janitorial, your go-to source for everything janitorial growth related. My name is Peter Boland. I am your host, and today we're going to be talking about how to tell if your commercial cleaning business is going to fail. Okay, so before we get into it, I got really 4 key points for you guys to let you know that these are indicators if you're moving in the right direction or not. Or if you're going to be going out of business. But before that happens, we really need to kind of determine what does fail mean, right? Like a fail to you guys might be different than a fail to me. So a fail to me is anything that's not expanding and growing. So if we are moving backwards, staying the same, we are absolutely failing. Now, if you're going out of business, that means you don't have enough money to pay for your debts and you can't be in business anymore because you can't operate without either A, declaring bankruptcy, B, cutting a whole bunch of back stuff. But either way, you're in an emergency section. So, so the definition of failing to me is not expanding. From a survival standpoint, and a life standpoint, you need to always be expanding because the world around you is always growing. Interest rates are growing, okay, and expanding. You need to always be expanding because the world around you is actually going to expand as well. Interest rates are always going to be going up. Usually they're on a small scale, lately they're on a giant scale. Your health, if you don't take care of it, it is going to expand in a negative way. So that means you're going to start getting sick more often. You're not going to feel as good. It is going to be detrimental to you. Okay, so expansion for your health means taking care of yourself. If you don't, the expansion is going to be on the unhealthy side of things. Okay, so expansion is the only way that you can survive the best in your life, period. Okay, so I'm going to read these 4 sections, and then I'm going to read section number 4. So I'm going to go bottom up, okay, not top down. So there's 4 sections. Section number 4 is emergency. Section number 3 is retraction. Section number 2 is expansion. And number 1 is abundance. Okay, so if your business is in an emergency section, so that's number 4, that means it is steeply going down. Maybe you had, $100,000 a month of billables, and next month you're at 80,000. The month after that, you're at 60,000. You are on a complete spike downward. Like, it is an emergency. You are about to be out of business in a few months if you do not correct it. So that's at $100,000. But if you're a new company and you have $4,000 a month in billables and you go down to $2,000, you are immediately in emergency. Okay, because you lost 50% of your business like that. Okay, so emergency is where you're about to completely go out of business. You could be at $4 million a month of billables and drop down to an emergency by losing a few big clients. So we have tons of clients, like hundreds upon hundreds. I mean, we have a lot of clients. If we lose one, it doesn't matter which one we lose. It does not affect more than 5% of our business. Actually, it would not affect more than 4% of our business right now, our biggest client. I know some people who have $1 million a year of billables in all subcontracting and through one company. So they have one client. Maybe they're cleaning, 25 locations for that one client, but they only have that one business as their client. And if they take those 25 locations away, it's over. And I've seen people go out of business in a month. Boom, non-existence. Okay, so emergency is when you start spiking downwards. Okay, it's really easy to see. So most people can tell if there's an emergency happening because they're like, oh my God, we're starting to lose business. And by the time you start seeing that big business loss, it is almost too late to try to fix it because it didn't happen overnight. Usually you started losing business because the actions you took 1 to 3 months earlier. sometimes even half a year earlier. Okay, so in order to fix it, it might take 1 to 6 months. So we went through this ourselves in our company. We went from being in office to moving to home and having to like fix and change a whole bunch of stuff. And we went from, you know what I mean, growing steadily to like going downward because we had to sit back and like to an emergency section because we had to figure out how to do this. And it took about 4 months to get back to just going straight up and abundant. So emergency is pretty easy to tell. If you're in an emergency, it's going to take a little bit to fix and get going. So it's easier to immediately start and learn the lesson and find out why you stopped or why you're in an emergency and make sure it doesn't happen again. Number 3 is in retraction. So retraction is essentially anything where you're at the same level as you were last month or the month before or the year before or whatever, or you're slightly going down. So maybe you're doing $100,000 a month and now you're doing $98,000 a month. Okay, if you're doing $100,000 a month and doing $100,000 a month the next month, you are still in retraction. And most people go, okay, well, why am I in retraction if I was staying the same? It's because, again, the world around you is expanding. It's always expanding. Interest rates are going up. Competitors are coming into the market. Okay, all these things are happening. So if you're not expanding at least at the same amount that everything else is expanding, you are actually moving backwards within your business. So retraction is all about just little bits of loss. This is where people don't see it coming whatsoever. They'll be like at 100 grand and then they'll be at like 98. And then they'll maybe be at 101, you know, and then they're at like 100 again. And they're like, oh, okay, we're kind of doing it. You need to immediately see the second you do the same as you did a month before, you are no longer in an expansion mode. You are actually in retraction and you are going to start retracting over time. Now, the best part about it is if you see this, and you have 2 months of the same, it is very, very easy for you to be like, oh, what I'm doing is not working. And you just go back to figuring out what you did to get the business in the first place and do more of that. Very, very easy to fix. You can fix it almost in a snap of the fingers. Okay, like it is so easy to fix. You just look at what you did when you were working, what you're not doing now, and then you just fix those issues. But most people don't notice it until they see like a huge drop. It'll be like 98,000 a month, 100,000 a month, 101, 100. And then it's like 90,000. They're like, oh my God, we just lost 10%. And then it's again, another 10% because now all those actions that you took the month before where you weren't doing things right, or the lack of actions, I should say, is starting to show up in your business. And it might take a month or 2 to fix, if not more. Okay, number 2 is expansion. This is where you want to be with periodic sections of like abundance where you're like going straight up. So expansion is you are constantly expanding. Maybe you're at 100,000 one month, 105,000 the next month, 110,000, right? 115,000. You're always expanding and growing. Period. You need to be here for your business. This is where the most amount of excitement happens. And if you're not expanding, then you have an issue. We have been constantly expanding for the past 6 months now. But we went through a whole bunch of stuff when we went to work from home where we were retracting, staying the same. And then all of a sudden we went to emergency for a few months. And then it took me like 3 or 4 months to fix it. So we went, whoa, whoa, whoa. And now we're like expanding again. We're about to hit an abundance section 2, which I'll go over that. So you need to always be expanding. If you did $4,000 in sales last month, $4,000 in sales this month, you are retracting. It should be like 4,000, 4,500, 4,000. I mean like 5,500, always growing. If you're not, you are at risk of going out of business. Now, if you could go from 4,000 to 8,000, great, do that. That's not an issue. right? But you have to always be growing because life is going to throw a whole bunch of stuff at you. And if you're not prepared, you are going to get hurt with it. I have been through my wife having to quit work to go stay with my son in a hospital for a month at the end and not having enough money for a mortgage years ago. I've had, a divorce got hit all of a sudden. We, lawsuit for something. We've had these things happen. And if we didn't have money and sales and expansion, it would have crippled us. So the bigger you get, you need to understand the more people are going to A, come after you, B, more people you have. So there's more mistakes that can be made. There's just a lot of things. So if you are in expansion and every month you're growing, you are doing good. That is where you want to be. Okay. And then the last one is abundance. So we are within, actually probably this month, we're going to hit an abundance. So it's where you're expanding. You're going up a little bit by little bit. And then all of a sudden you're almost like it just goes straight through the roof, like right through the roof. And that's where we're about to hit. We've been adding $20,000 a month every month in new clients. And we have about 32 staff now. And this month we'll look at almost doubling the amount of clients that we bring in because everybody is hitting synergy. They've been with us long enough that they know how to do everything. We have managers and team leads in place. We have wins meetings, daily meetings with our team lead. Like we have all these things in place. And now all of a sudden it's just taking off. Okay. Now, if our team doesn't continue to do the things that were successful, we could take off and then boom, go right back to an expansion or a slight of a retraction. So it's my job as a CEO to ensure that everybody's watching every step. So those 4 sections again are 1, abundance, 2, expansion, retraction, and emergency. So the point of the video was how to know if you're going to fail. So to me, if we're not in abundance or expansion, we failed. We absolutely failed. So if we remained the same or went down a little bit or a lot of it, we are failing. Okay. And our statistics are showing. Now you can do this for any section of your life. It doesn't need to just be business, just FYI. You can put this in with your health. You know what I mean? Like, are you losing weight every single month? Right? So are you in expansion of being healthier or are you gaining weight? If you're gaining weight, you're in retraction. Okay. So these are called managing statistics. You need to always be managing statistics in your business. You can do statistics for everything and take these 4 sections and apply it to any part of your business, right? How many cold calls did you make? Are you expanding your cold calls? Or are you in abundance? Or are you doing less, right? How many door knocks? How many clients visits did you do? How many client surveys? There's an endless amount to track statistics, or you might have heard KPIs. They're the same thing, but you need to track them. So we have a program that can help you guys learn how to track your statistics. If that's something that you'd like to learn or you want to become a partner with us, you can email us at contracts@onejan.com and we will gladly sit back and help you out. But this is how to tell if you're going to fail running your commercial cleaning business. All the information you need to know. So if I was you, I would take it, look at to see what you're doing, look at your books and go, I need to change things because a recession is coming around the corner. It's probably already here. And if you're not ready, companies like mine are going to move into your space because we are growing right now. Okay. So if you want more clients, we're here for you. If you want information, again, we're here for me. It's contracts@onejan.com. Thank you so much. We will have a new video for you tomorrow. Thank you again for everything. We look forward to chatting with you tomorrow.